Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is Spideyco64 back here again with another new video. And in today's video will be a start of my new review series. I've done, of course, reviews on all seasons of the Clone Wars. I also did my series review of Star Wars Rebels, but now, since it is the season of Marvel, and since Moon Knight and all the other Disney Plus titles have been coming out, I think it's right now time and appropriate for me to finally talk about the Marvel Netflix series, starting off with Daredevil Season 1. So, in case all of you have not seen Daredevil Season 1, I'm basically just gonna talk all about the series, and yeah, but I just gotta say, if you have not seen Daredevil Season 1, if you have not seen, or have you not seen any of Daredevil at all, if you haven't seen, if you haven't watched scenes like the hallway fight scene, or Daredevil versus Kingpin, or I guess any scene with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in it, then what the heck you're doing, Definitively, I just have to just say this about Daredevil. It is definitively the best, probably the best Marvel TV series, and this counts for the ABC shows, of course the Netflix series, and hell, even the Disney Plus series so far have not been able to reach this much level of this high of a level of how good Daredevil can just really get. So, what do I really just need to say about the series? Rewatching it, what do I need to say about it that hasn't already been said, Story is great, the characters are great, acting is great, the way the show looks is great, the action is great, messaging, just everything about Daredevil Season 1, it's just absolutely, just fantastic. And hell, and this just, while watching, just Daredevil Season 1 all over again, it definitely reminded me of a time, really just when Marvel can just really get that gritty. And hell, of course, at the time, this was considered to be part of the MCU, of course, and since after the Netflix shows got canceled all those years ago, we really didn't even know if Charlie Cox's Daredevil will return, and of course he's returned, and of course Spider-Man No Way Home, and of course Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin has also come back in, of course, the Hawkeye series. But to anyone just really getting in, to any of those people who really watched it, man, you have a lot to catch up on. But I just really gotta say that the one thing that really makes me like this show very much is just really, there's not really one, really, when it comes to every character and when it comes to every episode. Now, if I have to really say one bad thing really about, I guess, Daredevil, and this is something that I have to just really sort of say, I really think that is an issue really with the Netflix shows just in general, is that they really do overly feel very long. What I really mean by that is basically each and every episode is at least almost an hour long. They feel almost an hour long, it's almost, how like a movie, almost, and sometimes they're just scenes that just really drag on, really. And while it doesn't really hurt the pacing really in Daredevil, because the slow moments are great, when I talk about the rest of the other Marvel Netflix series, which, by the way, I have a little bit more criticism towards those series, since I went into them with an open mind. And just also to keep in mind here is that also this is my second time rewatching Daredevil also too, and all that sort of stuff. And now probably I'm gonna rewatch Daredevil season 3 probably around this week or so. So yeah, there's that, but that's really just the one criticism that I really have for Daredevil season 1 just overall, and just the Marvel Netflix shows, just in general. Pacing can kind of feel very slow at times, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people that will disagree with me. But thing sort of is the way I view TV and the way I also kind of view movies in general is that really, for me personally, I love things to be short, at least short and gets, how straight to the point. Now, I understand that when it comes to, like, other movies, for example, which Avengers Endgame's 3-hour runtime. Yeah, it's gonna need a 3-hour long time. The same thing goes for other movies. Other movies and other TV shows, but one of the few things I feel like that the Disney Plus series really struggle on is really sort of that fine line of, man, hell, the pacing is very, the pacing in those, really I have to say this, the pacing in those, in the newer Marvel Netflix series, they just go really way too fast, and you really don't feel like you got enough of it. But really when it came with Netflix and how they ran the Marvel shows, hell, they gave they gave every moment plenty of time, which is something that I do wish that these new Disney Plus series do have. And just to shortly just talk about Moon Knight here, for example, which I kind of feel like that the pacing is a little bit better in Moon Knight, though. Honestly, and this is just something else, but I'm just way too tired just to watch any episodes of Moon Knight. So the way I'm trying to view them is with an open mind and not trying to think, oh, I'm tired, and all that sort of stuff. But getting back, but just talk about that criticism overall and just explaining as to why I feel that way. It still does not detract to how the way I just really feel about this, how series, and how, rewatching it, again, it gets me really excited because, not only one is this series, not only because, of course, these stories are back in the MCU, which, honestly, they really do fit in well into the MCU, in the background and all that sort of stuff. And I guess another praise that I really like for the show is how grounded it is. That's something that I really appreciated about Daredevil season 1. It's just, and all these Netflix shows, is that they do feel really grounded. But the one that I feel like that flops the hardest is Iron Fist. But don't worry, I'll talk about Iron Fist very soon. But Daredevil season 1, I'm gonna wrap up this video because really this is gonna be because really Daredevil season 1 of Daredevil is the only season where you're gonna see me highly praise these Marvel Netflix series. But when I get to Daredevil season 2, then I'll voice my criticism here and there. So, with that really being said, though, guys, I highly recommend that you watch Daredevil and all the Marvel Netflix series. And if you don't want to watch any particular series, I say just give it a chance. And if you don't really like it all that much, then I feel like if you watched all these series and then you go to Defenders, and after that, maybe you'll feel satisfied or something like that. But since Marvel are bringing back these characters, it's kind of maybe important to understand their full stories. But anyways, though, hope you all enjoyed this video. And, of course, I'll come back tomorrow, probably, talk about Daredevil Season 2.